You're watching Cartell TV and I'm Amelia. Well, doesn't it look like Kia paid attention to what Jenny had to say?
About a year ago, she reviewed the sedan version of the Cerato and she wanted a turbocharged engine option, even if it were smaller than the one she had in that car.
Jenny wished it and apparently Kia commanded it.
Kia and its sister company Hyundai have been shaking up the car world for a while now. There are loads of reasons why, but it all boils down to their offering good, reliable cars for a competitive price. So, after a decade of consistency in that direction, they have developed a bit of a good reputation. This also means that they can take less of a compromise in many respects. They can command higher prices for sportier versions that people won't be afraid to buy. Just look at the lovely i30N, for example.
Granted, the sportiest Cerato is nowhere near the i30N, but it's definitely no slouch. Now, despite the title of this review and Jenny's order, the Sport Plus definitely does not stand for the car that I've been describing.
That would be the new GT trim, and we'll have that for review soon. But before that, the producers want us to see how good the top non-sporty version is, the ironically named Sport Plus, so that we could compare it to the GT.
So, this is what I have here today. The 2019 Kia Cerato Sport Plus in the hatch. Now, it doesn't have the most powerful engine option, nor does it have the latest gearbox available, nor does it boast the best equipment in the lineup. But it's a second best and should still be a really great choice for anyone not primarily looking for performance from a hatchback from Kia, which really is most people who are looking to buy a hatchback from Kia.
The front of the Cerato is somewhat reminiscent of the lovely Kia Stinger.
Don't get me wrong, it's not as cool as a Stinger, but the inspiration is obvious.
The grille has basically the same shape, but it's more aggressive on the Stinger.
Now, drawing from the Stinger is a good thing, but there is one car that I think looks better in this segment, and that's the Mazda 3. In fact, I think the Mazda 3 could possibly be the best looking hatch, so make sure you watch my review on that too.
Back to the Cerato. From the side, things get even better. Stylish waves that start on the front doors develop into much harder lines as they reach the end to complement the sharp rear design elements, big C-pillar and this sportier roof spoiler.
The back of the Cerato Sport Plus is probably my favourite part of the design. It looks somewhat European, and again, it's just a reminder of how good these cars are actually getting.
All in all, the Cerato hatch easily keeps up with the rest of the hatch crowd when it comes to the looks. It's modern and sleek without going overboard. This car is powered by an already familiar multi-point injection, dual continuous variable valve timing 2-litre engine.
If you don't know what these things mean, don't fret. It basically means that they wanted to improve efficiency without compromising power and performance. But since making this engine, they had an idea for a better engine, but we'll get to that in a minute. Let's take a look at this one first.
Okay, so this 2-litre has 112 kilowatts of power and 192 newton meters of torque from 4,000 revs per minute, and it's paired with a 6-speed automatic. So not bad, but also not particularly remarkable. The second option is a smaller 1.6-litre engine with the same multi-point dual continuously variable mumbo-jumbo, but also an addition in the form of a turbo.
This translates to a bit more efficiency and more power and more torque at nearly all times, since it starts from just 1,500 revs per minute.
This engine gets 150 kilowatts of power and 265 newton meters of that lovely low RPM torque, and it also gets a 7-speed dual clutch gearbox.
So yeah, the 1.6 litre is noticeably better. That one is also not the one that I have here. So let's get behind the wheel and see if the older, lumpier, less powerful unit is any good.
We already reviewed this engine last year in the Cerato sedan, and this engine predates that model, so we know it well.
This is not the only reason why I wasn't surprised by it. The main reason is because there was not much to be surprised by.
Push the pedal hard and you get this grunt that seems like it will start pushing you hard, but it does not deliver.
You have to rev it really hard for top power and torque figures, and even then, they're not really all that awe-inspiring.
So, despite the Sport Plus moniker, this is not a sporty car. What it is sufficient. Acceleration is uninspiring, but good enough to get you up to speed in the city or on the motorway without any fuss.
Top speed is unknown to me, and quite frankly, who cares? But cruising at the speed limit is effortless, and I think anybody who buys a Cerato with this engine, that's all they're going to really ask for.
It's supposed to be good enough and nothing more. This is exactly what it is. Being an automatic, this car has 4 driving modes: Comfort, Eco, Smart and Sport. They do make some difference to the way the car feels, but nothing spectacular.
You see, there is no adaptive suspension, and I've already described the engine, so there isn't that much room to make a big difference.
The gearbox feels noticeably different in Sport, but still not spectacular.
The best thing about this engine is that it's familiar and old enough to have any problem dealt with in the past.
So it should be adequate at best in terms of performance and utterly reliable.
For anything else, you'll need the turbo engine, and we'll let you know what that one is like soon, hopefully.
Things are a bit better when it comes to comfort. The Aussie suspension setup is something we got used to in the past few years, and it comes into play here as well. They took into account our less perfect roads and found a nice spot that irons out road imperfections, but gives a nice steering feel and not much of a body roll.
Not bad, really. I wish the engine complemented the feel behind the wheel.
The interior boasts a prominent 8-inch touchscreen that is standard across the range, and it features both Apple CarPlay and Android Auto.
Another nice thing is most of the materials and the fit and finish. The dash feels great, as does everything that you will put your hands on while driving.
What is not so awesome is some of the plastics on the dash and the rear side of the central console.
Honestly, this is splitting hairs, but if most of the materials are so good, why not cover these little surfaces in something nicer as well?
Back to the good. The leather steering wheel is thick, the gear lever is massive and perfectly placed, and the buttons on the dash feel solid and they're very easy to use.
I know that this day and age calls for digital everything, but I still prefer the good old dials and buttons that you don't need to look at to operate.
In terms of space, the Cerato is pretty good. There are 2 cup holder and 2 bottle holders up front, and as many of both in the back, cool glove box, large door pockets, this large space for your phone, and an armrest bin.
The hatch is shorter than the sedan, but wheelbase is the same, so the interior space hasn't actually suffered at all. Legroom is actually pretty good and definitely better than most of its competitors.
However, 3 people probably won't be very happy. What is smaller is the boot. The hatch has 428 litres of space, while the sedan has 502 litres. This trim has heated leather seats with ample lateral support, so I am looking forward to seeing if the GT version will have something even more hardcore.
To be honest, I can't imagine that these seats would be a bad choice in a car that's even sportier than a Cerato.
In terms of safety, the Cerato is awesome, even in its base form. The base one comes with ABS, electronic stability control with traction control, vehicle stability management, hill start assist, front and rear parking sensors, rear view camera, lane keep assist, driver attention alert, autonomous emergency braking and forward collision warning.
All that for a base model, which is impressive.
The Sport Plus that I have here adds auto-dimming rearview mirror, blind spot detection, rear cross traffic alert and pedestrian and cyclist avoidance.
So, the Cerato Sports Plus looks pretty nice, has plenty of space, has great materials and is very safe.
It is supposed to be a sensible car, and in this respect, it has 2 more awesome perks. Kia's 7-year warranty and 7-year capped price servicing that adds up to under $3,000 for those 7 years or 105,000 kilometres, whichever comes first.
If there's something that separates a Cerato from its competitors, it's these 2 bonuses, and it's a massive plus.
The entry-level Cerato S manual will cost under 20 grand drive away. And this Auto Cerato Sport Plus with safety package will cost you around 28,000 drive away. The only thing that lets the Cerato down is the engine. Sure, we love the reliability and yes, it is adequate for what most city hatch buyers want, but it just doesn't keep up with the industry.
So if the Cerato looks fantastic, is that good generally, and we have the new turbo engine coming soon to fix that one major complaint, could the GT be the perfect choice? We'll find out in the next review. Thanks for watching CarTell TV. Now, what car information is missing from your life? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe, follow us on Instagram and like us on Facebook while you're there. See you next time.